Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing good. Happy Easter, first of all. And second of all, the reason for you tuning in, I would assume, is that I have a very special system here for you. Now, you're probably looking and thinking, oh, is this guy again with his Proliant servers. However, if we go look at this, you will see that it is, in fact, kind of little bit smaller. So this is what I like to call the baby Proliant ML350 G4. So what I did with this is I actually got the case, measured it all, and cut it all down with the angle grinder. I want to make this look good. And if you look really close, of course I'm going to show the flaws. I did mix the paint, which is just an acrylic. It's not like an enamel. This looks like a sprayed enamel. A little bit different. It's got a bit of brown. This is front panel's a bit yellowed. But I wanted to make it line up, and I want to make it look as good as possible. This is a dream. This is a dream that I've had for a while, where we have a small Proliant server that's not loud and doesn't weigh 1,000,000 pounds that I can really just have some fun with. And when I got these servers, the one came with the ILO card, which I wanted to use, which unfortunately takes over our video output. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build this server kind of for the ILO card and use it and get it working, because I've always wanted to get one of these going. And you'll see that here. I'll show you what that is in there in a second. You can probably already, smart viewers will instantly know what that is, but I'll show you here in a second. But yeah, so basically what I did is I took the machine all apart, a couple screws around the back to take it apart. Nothing big. We've got a bolt here to take our side panel off. It kind of goes around like a C shape. We have 3 screws, or no, just one. I don't even remember. It's not much to take this apart. A couple screws, and basically pulls it all off. I cut these in sections, cut them in stages. There was nothing left of my angle grinder disc by the time I was done with this. And yeah, we definitely used up a grinder disc to do this machine, but I think it looks pretty good. Like if you look at our lines here, that I filled in with a little bit of hot glue. The hot glue gun was the savior on this. I did a lot of hot gluing with it, but I mean our lines are pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean I give it like a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, I'm a machinist. And like I take pride in my work and stuff, but I think it lines up pretty good. As far as the metal, I just had to cut it and slap it on the case and try not to bend the crap out of everything, which I'll show you this here. You'll see our back panel here kind of got a little bit bent. Now, you'll also notice this is not a normal power supply. So I ripped out all of that junk with the hot swap power supply on this, and that's just a 500 watt old school Delta, which is actually period correct. It's probably about 20 years old too for this machine, which is 500 watt. I had to kind of bend it a little bit to get it in there, which you'll see that's where this bump. I didn't want to smack too much stuff with my rubber mallet and really wail on it. So we got a little bit of a gap here. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it fits. Our screw holes kind of line up, but it's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. It's actually very tight fitting in there, but the main thing is that it's ATX and it doesn't make a mess, which is really awesome. So that's that. We go down here. I'll show you obviously inside, but say you say to me, Dominic, oh, you know, the machine's nice and short and stuff. Actually, hold that thought. Saying too many things at once. For the front panel, I'll show you that when I'm inside. What I wanted to do is obviously want to make the front panel fit on this. You'll see, or now with I have the light on it, you'll see that there's a little bit of deviation in the colors. But I mean, if you don't get the light, it looks pretty good. But I want to make the front panel go on this. So what I did with that is I actually, when you open the front panels on these, they have kind of like a round hole. So what I did is I just epoxied a nut into there. And then I just drilled a couple holes in the frame of the case, which you'll see when I have it open here in a sec. And then I just use that to the bolts to kind of center and to hold the front panel case on, which worked really good. Then I reinforced it with a bit of hot glue. And another thing with this is which I don't know I'll be able to show when I have it open here in a sec, is our front panel. So with the front panel on this, normally the door opens, which unfortunately the door doesn't open on this. It would look kind of dumb if it did anyway. But our front panel actually, these buttons are kind of like a phony button that are just like a plastic knob in here that actually press the panel on the back of the case. So obviously that I cut the entire thing in half. I didn't have that panel, you know, in its little spot. It has like a piece that clicks in. Our little clicking spot wasn't there. So what I had to do is actually, I don't know why that's come loose now, is I had to actually glue the header kind of onto this and then put some, you'll see in a second when I have it open here. So I actually had to glue some kind of like bamboo stakes in behind it, almost like a popsicle stick kind of deal to hold it in place, which it works good. Our buttons work good. They're nice and clicky and they function just as they're supposed to. So that's that. Pretty much put all together. The last issue I had with this was to get our front panel line on here, because obviously this is too small. We can't put CD drives or anything into it. So, and no floppy. So what I did with that is I actually just had a piece of metal mesh. If you look real close, you'll be able to kind of see it there. You can see it's open on the side here if I get the angle right. So what I did is I just glued that metal mesh in behind. These are the original OEM backer panels, which I had to cut some plastic tabs off, but I just glued them with the hot glue gun to that to that metal mesh and then painted it where you could see it, painted it black. So we don't actually have a floppy drive. That's why that button's a little bit loose there. It's just glued onto the mesh, so it must have moved when I was moving it around. And the main reason for me wanting to do this instead of making a custom panel is we get that one OEM front USB, which is awesome on this because we only have 2 USBs on this, unfortunately. But moving around to the back, to my train of thought, you might think, oh, Dominic, this machine really cool, but I want to use the super hotter than the surface of the sun SCSI drive. So you say, how do I do that? Well, don't worry. Don't you cry. I got that taken care of. So we spin her around because with those wheels, it just spins. These machine never came with wheels, which is a shame. The other servers, some of the older ones, like the G1s and stuff, and the G0, G2, whatever, they came with casters, but HP stopped and they just put those stupid feet, which I like casters. To install the casters was easy. Those are just single. They just drill a hole. I'll show you in a second. But anyway, again, out of my train of thought, you want to hook up SCSI drives, right? We got our box here. We got our Ultra 320s. Oh my lord! We got our Ultra 320s that I can't even pick up. So you want to hook this up. I want to hook it up even just for testing. We want to do it. So this is the cage. I didn't want to modify the cage, and obviously I don't have enough room like combined to this thing. Look at this. It's 3/4 of the size, just the bay alone. So I didn't want to not use this, and I didn't want to cut it up and modify it or try to fit it somewhere, even though there's no room to fit. So what I just did is I had these little plastic bushings. I just put some super glue on the bottom, so if I ever get a machine that needs an Ultra 320 drive panel, bay, whatever thing you want to call this thing, I can just pop those off and use it. But then it works good because there's a bit of a metal piece there, which this will not sit even. So now with this, it sits even, it sits nice and flat, and it's perfectly ready to use to be installed externally. But of course we want to have it so we can actually use it externally. So I thought of everything on this. So basically on the back here, if we look, you may have noticed it, but if we look back here, there's a convenient little hole in the machine with this cable that I've made, which can pull out here. As you can see, I'm trying to do it with one hand, which I'm kind of failing miserably. This is not the easiest to do with my left hand, with holding a camera. Come on! In there. Of course, the tab is going to get stuck, but there we go. It works pretty well. We can wire one of these up here, and this is really easy. The brown is 3.3, the black is ground, the red is 5 volt, and the blue is 12. So that's real easy. It just wires. I've actually done it in here. There's a connector. I don't want to pull it too much, but we can actually get it out there. So it's just wired into the Molex. And like I say, I did all those connections and I wrapped it up real good with electrical tape so nothing gets ripped. But that works really easy. All we do is we take that, we're going to plug him right into there. And then with our SCSI cable, this is connected to the internal cable of our smart array card, which I'll show you in a second. All we do is we just pull this out here carefully. Maybe a little more. It's a pretty long cable, but it works. It's the 320. We just grab our cable here. Got to move it a little around. Again, excuse how goofy this is because I'm literally doing it with one hand. Make sure our cable is the right way. Wide is on the top of this with our label facing downwards. And then we just plug that into there. And that's all it is. Now we're hooked up and we can use SCSI drives. It works pretty good. Like I say, we just plug that in. And then again, if we don't want to use a SCSI drive, we can just unplug it. But you know what? I'm going to keep that plugged in because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this around to the front. I'll try to do this in one take here. Good luck. Whoa, if I don't drop everything. I'm going to try to take this in one take, and I'm going to open it up, and we'll show you inside here so I don't have to stop and have 60,000 different videos to edit later because my editing skills are pretty abysmal. So I'll slide this off here. To open it is really easy. It's just, it kind of just sits in with its own force. Kind of want to wiggle it a little bit. It's funny because it's so tall, the panel, but basically when it's open, that's all there is to it. There's nothing too crazy. I'm just realizing now how I got this cut on my finger earlier. It was from that panel because it's razor sharp. But here's inside of it now. You'll notice it is the Proliant board, the OEM board, but there's definitely some upgrades that have been done to this. So first thing you probably notice is those massive coolers, which are actually 771 socket coolers off of a Intel board, I think, but they fit in good. A little bit of modification, they fit right through, and they attach right in place of the OEM tower heatsink, which work really good. These barely even get hot, so they do a great job. I did use the OEM fans on this, as you'll see here. The reason being with that is that this machine is very picky with the fans. We have to have a fan sensor. It's funny now to say because it's picky with the fans, but it's not. I know that makes no sense. This machine will not run with a different fan, even though it's a 3-pin fan. You can get whatever the hell kind of fan you want. It gives an air. You use the OEM fan, which are loud. So you'll see here what I've done is I've actually just run 5 volt to these fans. They check for spin. That's all they check for. They don't check for a speed or RPM or anything insane. It's old. They check for it spinning. If you start this up and hold it here so it doesn't spin, take that. if you start this while holding it, it's going to give you an error. It's going to screw up. It's going to say no. As long as these fans are spinning on startup and they keep spinning, if they stop when the machine's running, it'll shut off. You need to have it spinning. So you can run these off 5 volt. You can probably even do even less, maybe even the 3.3, but 5 volts easy. I ran it. I made this custom bracket to hold the fans in there because there's no mounting. They just hold there with a bit of hot glue. I didn't want any vibration in this chassis. It is kind of vibrate, especially because I cut it all to bits, but it worked good. It's not loud. I added this little piece of rubber. This is like a foam, just kind of like a baffle. There's a little bit on one on the bottom here too, just to help with the vibration. I don't know if it really does anything, but we're gonna pretend it does. You'll see here my me holding the panel in there with my little popsicle sticks, the glue everywhere, the glue on the USB. There's one of my bolts again. You'll see the nut in there. Again, epoxied and glued and all sorts of fun stuff. The hot glue helps with vibration. It eliminates all the vibration on it, and it works pretty good. It's pretty quiet. We're running 4 double stack sets of 4 1 gig double stack sets of RAM on there for 4 gigs total. You'll see our back our back fan here. Same thing, I'm running it off that same 5 volt. This is a little bit interesting because sometimes when the machine starts, it doesn't have enough oomph, enough torque to get that fan spinning. So sometimes when you start the machine, it'll actually give the fan error, and we have to give it a couple attempts to turn on, which is kind of interesting why that happens, because also we have to do the same thing with our not smart array card, with our lights out card here, which is in the bottom slot, is the same thing. Is that this has actually a bunch of lights that'll light up. You'll see our 30-pin cable here. I'll mention that later in the video. That's the cable we need to make sure it is present and connected to control the server remotely, which I'll show later in the video. But with this card, it has a bunch of LEDs here at the bottom that will light up, and you'll see them reflect on here, because I'll power this up in a minute. You'll see those reflect, but a lot of the times when you power off the server and power it on with when you connect it to the mains, we don't get those LEDs, and then we won't have a video output from our server as the as the integrated lights out card takes over the main video output. So we have to power off the machine and on, sometimes a couple times, sometimes because the fan acts up, sometimes because the lights out card decides it doesn't want to actually give us a video. It's fun, but it does work. So that's that aspect of it. We have our smart array card. You'll see with our ribbon cable going out with the custom cut backer panel that I made. Goes to our drive bay. Works really good. I'll show you that in a second here too. Works good. We got the Audigy 2, my favorite 2ZS, or just the 2 depending on what model it is. I don't even know. 2ZS sound card in there. Works great. XP7 works awesome. Love it. We got our one of these, which I don't really love because I don't know how to use them yet. We're learning. Fiber optic card again. Looks cool, lights up, got lots of cool LEDs on it. But yeah, it don't even have a driver for it. So one day I'll make a video on that, maybe make it work. But main thing with this is that you're wondering, well, you don't have any SCSI drives. What are we running? So I'm running an SIL 3132 SATA RAID card on here with our one very long blue cable that goes around. And if you look really close, we got a brand new 120 gig SSD in there, which works really good. We got to make sure we have the driver with the floppy. Another thing you might wonder is, say, oh, Dominic, how do we install OS on this? It's kind of a pain, but what I've done is I've actually installed the cables. So if you look down here, if we ever need to use a floppy or something, we can just grab our IDE or a floppy cable and then just hook it up to the power. We got lots of room up here to work. Again, there's our floppy connector. That's our floppy power. Here's our floppy cable. We've got lots of Molex and stuff if we ever need to plug a CD-ROM into here. I did that for the Windows 2000. I installed that with CD. I don't like using for the older operating system those. But yeah, that's about it. RAM, this, that, the other. Nice big tall chipset cooler on this. The machine runs good. It runs warm, but it's not insane. It runs good. So. But like I say, that's about it. I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to move this around, and I'm going to show you a little bit of it running when it's open. And but the majority of the video is I'm going to remote connect to this and show you on the remote. It's probably going to end up being a pretty long video. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video now. We're going to set this up, and I'm going to show you the power up of it. Be right back. So you'll see here for a comparison, there's the baby next to the full-size 350. And if I grab my measuring tape here, because I'm actually curious to... Come on! I'm actually curious to see how much I did. So to the HP badge, looks like we're 25 inches with this. And then if we go to the baby, and come on, get it to the back there. Actually, I can do it without shrinking down. We're 16, so we've cut, what is that, 16? We cut 9 inches off of this thing to shorten it, which is pretty substantial in my opinion. You can see here, it's definitely a lot shorter. It sits a little lower too because of the smaller casters that I've put on, but it works good. Now, I wanted to also do a thing where I push these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera. No, I'm not. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold the camera, and I'm going to give these both an even push. and this might result in them falling over, but I'm going to give them both the same kind of hefty here, like a half a push, and see how far they go. We're doing the world's first ever caster server race. So here goes the baby first. Decent. We got a few feet of a run there. Now we'll do the Papa, the big Papa. I love it when you call me. And we're going to give him a push with the left hand. And, oh, the Papa actually went substantially farther than the baby. Showed him who's boss. But that's probably because it's got bigger casters. These casters are kind of crappy on this, to be honest. They're only a couple dollars each, but they roll. The main thing is that this rolls. It rolls freely. We can even put our camera on here, and we can go. You see here. Whoa! Look at this. We're racing. We'll do a lap around the basement. Check out all the garbage that I have on the floor. Check out my other servers. Oh yeah, this has some pretty good handling, I have to say. Let's take the Big Papa here for a ride, because I bet you the Big Papa's faster, but I bet you he's got less in terms of the handling department. So whoa, as I can't even get him out of pit row here. But here comes the Papa. Oh, we can definitely feel the speed with the Papa. He's sideways. Oh. Gotta slow down. This is wild. Definitely slow around. Whoa, definitely slow around the turns and the braking. But they're pretty interesting. It's like the baby's got the tight handling, like the MX-5 Miata, and then this is like the Corvette. Lots of speed, but actually Corvette handles pretty good. Not that I've ever driven both, but those are the two of them. Definitely pretty cool, and definitely a head-to-head race. I don't know. It depends. Pick your poison, I guess. You want a server to go around corners, or you want a server to go in the straight lines, so the dragster server. But that's them there. Let me get these fired up. I'm going to bring this down actually into the. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to put this on my desk, and we're going to take this apart, and I'll show you how it runs, which it's pretty cool actually. At least I pat myself on the back. I think so anyway. So let's get to that now. All right, so we've got everything hooked up here now. You see the machine is in standby mode. You'll see that network port blinking because I have this shared to my Asus workstation down there, which will work, obviously. You need to have that plugged in to show the Compaq Insight Manager, which I'll get to that in a second here. We've got that plugged in. It's got the standby light on. You'll see also that light I was talking about. See that one blinking at the bottom there, reflecting beside the barcode? That's actually the remote Insight card. So when that's blinking, we know that it's going to fire up. Now, I did have to cycle this already, but it should power up right away because we have I've already done it, and I just had it running. So now it's kind of in standby mode. I'm going to hit the power button here, and you'll see everything spring to life. So if we look real close, you'll see our SCSI drive. I'll just blink there, but we don't get to see it. You'll see our three lights kind of, if I can point to it here, our three lights right down there are the post lights for the board. Above it, we have the lights of actually, I don't even know. What are those lights there? What are we seeing in that video? I don't even know. That's, oh, sorry, that's the post lights. We can actually see them in the camera versus my eyes. Posting now. These lights over here are for the smart array card. It's blinking. We have a battery error on this. I mean, it's 25 years old. What do you expect? And there's our nice, oh, look at that one, big bright blue one from the fiber optic card. Here goes our SCSI here now booting up, and we should have, perfect timing. We should have our post screen here. So let's aim at that post screen. Let me move the camera around here. I just have my USB mouse and keyboard hooked up, nothing crazy. You'll see our 4 gig of RAM. There's our 2 processors. Something here to mention, this demand-based power management, which is weird because these chips can actually throttle back depending on with the multiplier on them. We can set this into a low power mode, which will work. It will set the chips to 2.8 gigahertz. However, with that, they run obviously slower, and the machine is noticeably slower with that. So I don't know if it limits something else. Maybe it cuts down on the cache. I'm not 100% sure, but I have it set for the dynamic power saving, which doesn't actually work. Thank you very much. But it works. Like I say, went through there. You see the SAL card, the SATA card. It's so freaking quick. I can't even tell you about it. We had the post screen for the drive, our one drive. Again, here's our one drive there. He's spinning around. The other ones aren't plugged in. They're just kind of loose in there. You'll see the clips. They're not locked in. There are drives in there, but I just want one for ease of use. We're going to boot our Windows 2000 here. And like I say, I'm going to connect to this with the remote console. For now, I have the internet, like I was saying, shared just to my Asus workstation because I want to show you with the remote console. That's the most exciting thing, in my opinion, as far as this video, is the remote console working, which is really cool. Like I said, I've always wanted one of those to go. So I'm going to plug in my headphone here for some sound so we can get that Windows 2000 boot up sound, which I think the sounds are really cool on Windows 2000. I personally like them quite a bit. I had the sound cranked on this, so hopefully we get a nice loud when it boots up. So we'll get it here in a second. There's our network connection. It will take a second for this to post, which I believe that's all the HP agents loading on this. It's not exactly the fastest thing. Like if I go right here, enter my top secret 1234 password, usually we're greeted right with the desktop right away, but with this, we have to wait a second, obviously, as you can see here now, for it to actually start up, but not the end of the world. It runs good. This machine runs good. It's substantially quick, especially with the SSD. It's obviously faster than the SCSI drives would have been back in the day. But even those SCSI drives, I see some of my other videos, they run good. They're quick. So like I say, the performance of the machines are fairly good. Even I have another video there, if you've seen it, of the ML350 with the GeForce card, and even that, like, we can play Minecraft. We have no issue using these machines as desktops. Even, like I say, they're 25 years old now, but they were good. They're not 25, they're 20 years old or so, more or less, depending on the year. Like this machine is going to be 2004-ish, 5, yeah, so about 20 years old. But they work good. This one has a really long post with these HP agents. I've noticed that with other servers of mine too, namely that 8500, my big monster 8 processor unit there, the Compaq, the 8500R. That thing takes this probably even longer than this to post, just when it goes to load all the agents. And you'll see this here, our thing. I don't know why this says you want to restart the computer. I think that has to do with the network. I'm not 100% sure, but like I say, I'll show most of this usage in the. There's not a lot really to show you with here besides that it's running. It's running, and another thing. Listen to how quiet this is. The SCSI drive is the loudest aspect of it. This thing is whisper quiet. We're running, like I say, the fans are running off 5 volt, but they still adjust. Like I don't know how it works exactly, but it'll tell the machine to run faster. It will run a little bit louder depending on what you're doing on it if you're really loading it up. But it's still, I mean, if you've got music, you can't hear it. Like even now, if I shut up for a second, the phone's about a foot, 2 feet from the machine, and the panel's open on the side. With the panel shut, it's even quieter. But like I say, it's already doesn't even really make any noise, which is what I wanted. It's nice. It's a real godsend to work on without hearing constantly. So definitely appreciate that. And in our device manager here, we've got everything installed. Besides that is the fiber optic card, which I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get that to work. But it's in there. It actually shows up because the card doesn't show up in a lot of systems. But here it does. We got all our stuff. There's our Rage XL, which doesn't work in Windows 7. I'll show you that later on too. Our remote insight board is 2 different devices, and again, that's important for later too. These are actually installed with the HP driver, and they run great. Here's our SIL RAID control. Ooh, okay, something else there decided to want to pop up. There's our SIL SATA controller, our smart array controller, the PCI X133. It's a 320 meg card with a 320 meg panel, 320 meg cable, and it's in the PCI X133 slot. We are getting the maximum bandwidth on that one drive, which is just hanging out, not actually doing anything. I think it's this one, SCSI 320 back panel with nothing in it. Our whole 36 gigs drive, but it works, and that's important. That's an 18 gig 15,000 RPM HP drive, which are notoriously, in my opinion, great for just blowing up as soon as you install an operating system onto those. But that'll be for down the road. I'll probably put I don't know, maybe Windows Server, see if I can get that Rage XL card working on it. But yeah, you wishful thinking. I'll show you this before I stop this portion of the video. This is the Insight Manager, my favorite. You'll see here, we have to have our network cable plugged in. This has to be connected to the internet. You'll see down here, we have HP, we're connected. And we have to have this connected. Without this on the internet, this will not work. You won't be able to find it over the IP. It needs to have an IP. It needs that to work. So I love this program. This is like super nostalgic here. Not that I've ever used these when I was younger, but I don't know. They look great. They look good. I'm gonna click on this first because I'm curious to see why this has a yellow light, but I don't know, apparently there's nothing wrong with it. Here's our server, which is funny, ML350 G4, and it's like, not really what an ML350 G4 looks like. I mean, it's kind of close. It's just kind of like generic server. You can still see it has the red dots on there for Compaq, like, now we are owned by, it's funny, it shows up as Proliant, not HP. Get out of here. This program was actually before. Another reason I like to use it is because before HP bought it. So it reminds me before HP took it and made them all shit. But we have it running, so it works pretty good. Our recovery, something I want to show you here. This is how we can get the info for the remote insight board. Now, this isn't connected, so we won't be able to get our IP address. But if you're trying to get one of these running, you can see here we have the red box. We can click on this and it doesn't say anything. Now, when this does work and have an IP address, you will see it in here. Oh, I got to show you that. I got to reboot it and show you that too. You will see the IP address in here if you load it, or we can use the HP System Management webpage as well, which I'll show you in a second. Trying to talk about too much stuff here. But let me show you that now. Oh, it actually has a button for reboot, which is grayed out. I just noticed that. It doesn't actually do anything. Maybe when the remote insight card's installed, we can do that. I'm not too sure. We will get our machine's IP address, but that's for the network port, not the remote insight port. That's important to remember. To find the info for the remote insight port, we can always open this up. We have to enter in our user info in this, which if you don't have a password, this will not work. You have to have a password on your account. You can't get in here. But if we want to see our info for our backup, whatever you call it there, the management processor, our lights out card, what we can do is we can click on this, the embedded controller. Now, when we click on this, we're going to, actually, it still shows it, but there's our IP address there. That's important. You'll see later in the video, we need to enter that into our web browser, our Firefox 2, which I'll show you here a little bit later in the video, how to get it actually working. We need to enter that into our Firefox browser to connect to the thing. But right now, we don't have a network connection at all. If I open up command prompt and do ipconfig, you'll see that we have a different address to 183.63, and that's going to be the network adapter. We don't actually get in here, even with that cable connected to our remote insight card, it won't even tell us that we have an IP here. It's kind of weird. It confused me and it made me mad, but in the end, it was easy. You just kind of plug it in and Bob's your uncle, off to the races. But that's about it. I'm going to show you something very quick here, how we want to get that remote insight card working, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the machine upstairs into my server room, and I'm going to go upstairs to my Windows 11 computer, and I'm going to connect to this with Windows 11. Believe it or not, it does work. But there's something important that I wanted to show you first, is the F8 screen. The thing posts so quick that I can't even get into there. So what I'm going to show you is something important with the remote insight card. We want to have it reset to the default values, and we want to make sure that we're going to set ourselves a user, because the default password is really weird. It's something to do with the MAC address. I'm not 100% sure, but I set up my own user for it. And it works, and it worked, and it works. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So if somebody ever sees this video and is a weirdo like me and wants to get one of these going, this is what I did, and it worked pretty good for me. So I didn't have an issue. That's the one aspect of this I didn't have an issue with. Actually, I did, but when I actually figured out what the hell I was doing, it worked good. We're not going to get into it, but yeah, make sure you're actually entering. Make sure you have the IP of the card. We're going to set the card to, this is all from research that I've done with this. We're going to set the card. I'll show you here in a sec once it boots up. We got to press F8. We got to press F8 at the right time. We got about a half a second to press, because, you know, not that would make it easy to press the F8 button and actually get into the config. But we want to make sure our card is reset. And then we're going to add a user. We need to make sure that it has a connection with the Ethernet to your modem or router or switch or whatever the hell you're doing. And we want to make sure that there's a DNS mode here. Let me press the button when it loads here. I think it's next. There it is. We're going to go in here. So first thing, I'm not going to press it now, but first thing we want to do is go to set default and press enter on that. So then when we go into our next menu here, you should see this here on. There we get our address, and we actually get all these, which these weren't populated before, but the fact that I was using this, which I actually am filming this part of the video, even though it's the first part, I'm filming this at the end. This is actually the last part of the video I'm filming right now. This was already online, so it gives us all the info. But when this runs, you should have, when I first did it, I only had subnet mask, but then after connecting it on the internet, once it's connected to the internet, this will populate with your IP. So we can also get it out of here too. That makes it a little bit easier, but we want to make sure those are there. With our DNS, we do want to have DHCP enable on. This worked for me, and this is also our DNS name if you want to connect to the DNS. I don't know a whole lot about that, but this being on made it work for me. So last part of this, we want to go into add. You'll see here, oh, you won't see it in there. We can go into add. We want to add a username, login, password. Again, I love how this is old. It doesn't need any special characters. My password is literally password. So you'll see if we go to edit, the administrator, the default account with the MAC address, login, password, kind of a pain in the ass. I just made a user account Dom. We're going to go in here. Again, if we go to add, we can just do username, login name. They got to be, I don't know, for mine it's the same, Dom, and then my password is just password, which you'll see a little later, and then we have to also verify the password with the same thing. We do want to enable supervisor access and all these. If we do other ones, this was actually disabled on the other one, but we want to make sure those are enabled so that we can actually go in this card and manage it. If you're going to do it, might as well make yourself an administrator of it. So that's what I think anyway. As far as the local settings, that's just the keyboard and stuff. Nothing really to do anything about here, but that will give us some info. But anyway, that's about it. That's this. I'm going to stop this video here. We're going to move this guy over to my server room here, and then I'm going to go upstairs and we're going to connect it with the remote insight. We're going to show you how it actually runs in Windows 11, or sorry, Windows 7, Windows 11 through into Windows 7, believe it or not, which works pretty good. But yeah, that's going to be this here. And like I say, we're going to switch it over here. Let's just power this off, and I'll be right back with it set up in the other room. Hey everybody, so we are in my server room here now, if you can call it that. It's really the room with the washing machine and the Nerf gun hidden arsenal in the side here. But I'm going to show you how we can actually remote network into this with the RILOE card on Windows 11, or at least I'm going to attempt to anyway. So as you can see here, the server is plugged into my breaker bar there. We have the monitor and the server plugged in. It has the yellow light on standby for now. I've got a USB Wi-Fi card plugged into this. Obviously the monitor, my wireless mouse and keyboard. And if we look around the back, you can see the Ethernet cable here, kind of dark, plugged into the remote lights out card, which you'll see it actually has the green light, which means that is connected with the 100 meg signal. Now this goes up to my router. I did have to have this plugged in to the router to work. If I had it plugged into a shared Ethernet port on my Asus workstation, it did not. So anyway, power's plugged in. The machine is in kind of a standby mode now. I'm going to go upstairs onto my Windows 11 computer, and we're going to try to start this up, and I'm going to show you, hopefully, how everything works as the remote connection, the remote host with this. So let's go do that now. Hey everybody, so we are upstairs in my office here now with my Windows 11 computer running Windows 11, and I'm going to show you hopefully how to get this awesome thing running, the RILOE, the integrated lights out, running on Windows 11. So let me adjust this here a little bit for you. You can see the Windows 11 icon in the bottom. So to do this, it's very, very tricky and very annoying. So the first thing we have to do is open our Windows security, which I'm not going to be able to show you this 100% of how to do this. Let me make sure you're in the frame here. But basically what we have to do is go into the Windows security, and we need to disable the Windows security for this, because if I click on this here for you now, you'll see this stupid Yamako thing, which is apparently in 3,000 different types of, you know, even the Razer installer, apparently that's a virus, and Windows takes its awesome precaution to delete it for you. So here you'll see this is one of the two things we need to download is the Java 2 SDK 1.4.2_01 Windows i586 EXE. That we need to download. That is going to be the Java Web View. See right here, Java, okay, no, we should go the other way. The Java Web View runtime. We need to have that so that we can actually use the console. And then the other thing we need, which I bet you this stupid thing has quarantined and I can show you here, is, maybe not, is Firefox 2. Maybe Firefox 2 installs. I don't know. I was having issues with both of those. So you'll see here I have, oh, just kidding. It's not in the frame. We have Firefox number 2 installed. So we have to go in here. We have to go to the virus and threat protection. You see here, oh, there's already found an error. Oh my God, sound the alarm. It's the end of the world. But we have to go in here. We have to disable that. Let me move this a little bit better so you can see. We have to disable the Windows thingy here with that, which if you do want to do that, go into virus and threat protection, you're going to go into manage settings, and then we're going to click this real-time protection and turn that off. That needs to be turned off before we can install the Firefox 2 and the Java version, because they are older and they will not work. So once those are installed, we can open up our window. God damn it, I want to move this so you can see it. It's fine. So once that's run, we'll be in here. Another way we can check this is if we go into Java. And, oh, just kidding, that doesn't work on this. You can actually, if you have newer versions of Java installed, you can actually click and open up that little applet thingy jig, and it will tell you that you have it installed. But here, we're just going to do it. So once we have that installed, we need our remote insight lights out card's IP address, which in my case is 192.168.40.81. We're going to click run on that. It's going to ask you, here's the RIB. This is the MAC address for that card. We're going to want to continue with that. Yes. It's going to blah, blah, blah. The certificate is expired. Oh my God, that's the end of the world. Yeah, we're going to click OK on that. OK. This is our own system. We don't need to worry about anybody trying to hack us. Oh God, God forbid Windows would let us use our own hardware. But no, that's the end of the world for it apparently. But once we get to here, we can log in. So in this case, I have set up the remote card with my user, which is Dom, and my password is a very secure password. Password is the password. So once that's logged in, we can see the remote console. Right now, I've connected to the machine through the remote insight card here. This gives us all the info about it. My name, the computer's name, of course, our AIR, which the network adapter, which is the gigabit, is unplugged there in the back, as you saw there a few minutes ago. It tells us our login. So here's 192.168.40.45. That is my own computer. Here's the Remote Insights adapters thing. Here's its MAC address. It tells us about the cable, which is actually off right now, and it says our power, which is connected internally as well as the firmware version. Now, if we're going to click on this button up here, the remote console, get out of here. The remote console button, that will actually turn the screen on to where, oh my God, take a break, man. The screen, the monitoring screen. But what I'll show you here is this first, which obviously we don't have access to that because the server is off right now. But if we go into administrator, we can also change our user. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to open the remote console. So when we click this, you'll know if it's going to work because you'll have these little Java pop-ups on the side here. Do you want to accept this? Tells us about this. Do you want to accept the certificate from the site RIB, blah, 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 the security certificate. Oh, it's so bad. It's so awful. Oh, we don't know what it is. It expired. We're just going to click yes on all those. That's just security garbage. I don't really know 100%. But anyway, once that's open, we will have access to our window here, which you'll see if you have this gray screen here like this. I'll move this up a little bit. If you have this gray screen here, you'll know that it is working. But obviously this says, if we go a little closer here, you'll see that says monitored server is powered down. So obviously it's not actually running right now. But what I'm going to do is we'll move this out of the side here, and then we'll slide our window open. Now we can go over to virtual devices, and we can click server power on. The server is powered off. Are you sure you want to power on the server? Which, yes, we do. We're going to confirm that. So now we're going to attempt to power on the server. The server is powered on. We have three options on the side here. Let me grab the camera so you can see. We have three options you can see here. We can also shut down the server and power off. We can do a forced restart, and we can also do a reboot, kind of like a soft reboot with it. But if this is going to go to plan, we should have our, we should have our remote monitoring window. Oh, there it is, popping up here in just a second. I'll move the camera over so you can see it a little bit better here. So we should be greeted with our Proliant screen here in just a second. If there's any issues with this, I find a good fix for this is to, we can actually, oh, there we go. We can actually close this window and then just reopen the remote console. But you'll see it there. There's the remote window. It is working. I'll go a little bit closer here, but you can see that's our post screen, our 4 gigs of RAM, the whatever. You'll see my custom, the baby Proliant built by Dom there. Hopefully we don't have the issue with the fan screwing up on me, but I don't think we will, as we've already got our Smart Array showing up and is our SATA link showing up as well. So we're gonna let that boot into there. It should go. Oh, I can move the camera like this. That's even better. We'll move that like, ooh, we'll move that like this. There's our system maintenance menu screen as well. Scoop this down a little bit here for you, but you see it works good. And then now, so when I move my mouse, I'm gonna just go with the keyboard, but, oh, okay, hold on. We should be able to, there we go, just in time. We can actually, I'm actually using my Windows 11 keyboard here, as you can see now. When I press on this, we actually are using the remote console in the pre-boot environment, which is pretty cool. So I'll boot this into Windows 2000 here first, just so you can see how this works. It's funny how it switches the resolution. And something I was actually very surprised with is that we are able to boot this into Windows 7, even though there are no drivers installed for the card. And it's using the basic Rage 2 display driver with it as well. But I'll show you that here in a minute. And we're going to actually try to go and use the machine. Hold on, it's like Inception here. We're gonna use a Windows 11 machine to connect to a Windows 7 running on my 20-year-old Proliant, and then we're gonna try to go on YouTube and watch Mr. Beast with it. We're gonna try anyway. But something I want to mention here is that when we're on the login screen, we can't press Control-Alt-Delete on our Windows computer, because if we do that, it's gonna lock the Windows computer, sorry, the Windows 11 computer, the host. So there's actually a button here at the top, you'll see, which is Control-Alt-Delete. You'll see the two cursors. If I press that, that actually does our Control-Alt-Delete, and then we can go down here and I can enter my top secret 123 for a password, hit enter on my own keyboard, and that will let us get to our login screen for our desktop, I guess you'd say, for the Windows 2000, which is pretty cool. I have to say, this is a pretty cool thing. It works very well. I'm gonna try to move my windows here, move this one a little closer, and I'm gonna move this guy over here, and I'm gonna overlap it, and then you can see here. This gives us also our information on the server as well. Now, if we go to system status, we should be able to see a few more things on this server status. I thought there was there's a few more things that we could see in here. Oh yeah, here we go. different things with the onboard clock, just a few things, not a whole lot of different things, but it's good. This will tell us all the info of the server that we really need. But the main thing here, like I say, is that is the virtual power button. That is like really cool. It works good, and that works with the internal 30-pin cable. You don't need to have that splitter cable for the ML350 G4 or that crazy ribbon cable, or sorry, the button cable or anything. It's just there's a 30-pin cable, it plugs in, it's done. No mouse, no keyboard, no nothing, no shenanigans. So we're in the Windows 2000 now. Let me see if I can make this full screen for you, and we'll adjust our picture a little bit better for you. Come on, there we go. But yeah, that is the, oh my God, just focus for once in your life, please. That's our remote console. That's it running. We're in Windows 11. This is the Windows 2000 downstairs computer desktop. Like, I'll even click the Insight Manager, which won't work because we don't have a network connection going to the actual machine. You'll see here it's going to have the black dot. Obviously not going to work because we're not connected on the internet. But everything on here is working. Like, it works quite well. Like, we'll go in here. There's a little bit of an input lag. Nothing super duper crazy. Like, it's more than usable. You see here, I can navigate it fine. I mean, it's not like it's super responsive, but it works well. You'll see that's our system there, whatever. We can go into the hardware, of course, and go into our where the hell are you? Device manager here, and take a look at everything. But it works. It works good. You'll even see the USB wireless card in there that I don't have the driver for, but that works quite well. So what I'm going to do here now is I could shut it down with the built-in, whatever you want to call it, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the virtual power button so I can boot into the, so I can boot into the Windows 7 install here. So off on the side, let me move this over. I'm trying to keep everything in frame for you, but I'm doing a pretty garbage job of it, to be honest. We'll put this over here, and then you'll see we have three options for this. So we can shut down and power off the server with button number 1. Button number 2, we can force the server power off without shutting down, press the button below. That will power it like a hard power off, like if you were to go with your finger and say, pull the button down until it shuts off. And then we can do just a reboot, which is kind of like pressing the restart button, which the server doesn't actually have, but I'm gonna click this now. This, as you'll see here, I was going to mention, but it actually tells us this type of reboot does not gracefully shut down the server OS, but I don't give a shit. So we're going to click that here now. We'll keep our console window open. You'll see that my mouse is gone, and we're actually getting, we'll get this removable storage manager thing through the Compaq, which is pretty quick there. But basically what that says is that, no, what are you doing? If you press the power button on the server with the Windows 2000 running, that will pop up and it will prevent the machine from shutting down. But when we do this here, it's not graceful. So that's almost like jumpering the wires of a reset button on a standard ATX machine. And it will just, as you see there, it's kind of like, what? And then it just restarts, which I find is kind of funny. But it does work. Like you say, you see here, it restarted the machine. And in a second here, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we will have our Proliant splash boot screen again, which you'll see. There we go. There, it works good. I have to say, this works quite well. And once I got it set up, like the only issue I really had with this was finding the IP, which was the issue was that I didn't have it plugged into my router. Once I plugged this into the router, I was able to get right into it and access it, which was pretty cool. So I'll show that. I should have showed it already. I'm actually filming the second part of this video first, but I should have. Mental note. Show how to get the IP and how to set the settings in this menu here that you'll see in 1 second that pops up with that F8 menu, or it's already passed. Nice job. Very descriptive. But here, we'll load into this here now. We'll get our boot menu, hopefully. And yes, you'll see. I love how the resolution changes on this too. Oh, no, come on. We've got to shift down to Windows 7, and again, I'm using my Windows 11 keyboard. Now, this, when it worked, I did not expect this to work. I expected it to load the Windows 7, the loading dots here, and then crash. But however this works, it works, and it works. I don't know about perfect. I don't believe anything's really perfect, but it's pretty much as close to perfect as you'd expect. So we'll boot in here now with the good old Dominic special secret password 123. That's just so we can access the system homepage. And you'll see we're in Windows 7 desktop with our remote console running. Again, if I go to virtual device, it'll say, here you go, right on the side here. The server is powered on. I can even shrink this. We have dual Transam action, two Transam, 2 desktop, Windows 11 running Windows 7 on an old 20-year-old server with the desktop. And here it is, it's working. I wanted to click on the sound, and I don't know if we can hear it from here because I have my headphone plugged in. I can just barely hear that, but I can. You won't be able to hear it in the video. I can hear it blinking, or sorry, blinking the whatever. Ow, the what do you call it? The sound. I can hear the sound effect in the basement. But here, we'll go to it. You'll see. Here's our Windows 7 screen. It's running. It's running on the machine. There's our Xeons. There's our 4 gigs of RAM. And another thing to show you, we'll go into Device Manager here, and you'll see here, here's our PCI memory controller. That's our Remote Insight card. There's nothing installed for that. It doesn't have any of the drivers. Even the graphics driver, you'll see here, this is our standard VGA. You'll see on my desktop, come here, you'll see on our desktop, our colors and stuff are a little bit of a mess. I'm going to go in here to screen resolution. I really tried to get this to work with the Rage driver, which I don't know if this is working. You'll see here it shows it as a Mach 64, which is wrong, but then we do have our 8 megs of graphic memory listed. I mean, this card is about the least performing thing you can get on Windows 7, which I can't even say on Windows 7 because it doesn't work, but we do have the true color, and we do have the somewhat proper resolutions for this. I mean, it's not high resolution, but we're able to adjust it. We can even do the 1280 by 1024, which I won't do because then it messes up the downstairs screen, but you'll see our colors here are kind of, our Windows Aero took a big dump. And it's definitely slower going, but it works. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to actually go on the internet through the computer, through the server, through the remote console, through my own machine. We're going to go and we're going to use this like for whatever, my videos for returning viewers to my channel. You know what I like to do for these videos. So we're going to go here. We're going to do YouTube Mr. Beast. You can already see I've already searched this because I wanted, before I made a video that did nothing. And with this machine, with this video card, we're very limited of what we can do. Unfortunately, I'm unable to run any sort of game or anything really to see just how bad it would be. I mean, I've done similar videos with the 603, 604 Xeon. We know how they work. They'll do stuff, but they're not, they're like 2 Pentium 4s in there with some extra RAM and some extra cache and stuff. So they're not really that good for gaming, but this is more to see what we can do here. You'll see, even just scrolling, it's that tearing, it's like, but let's navigate over to here. The main thing is that this works. I've wanted one of these working for years, and now I have one, and it goes, and there's the YouTube with the pistol to your face, making you watch a video, and look at the quality of that. That is some next level stuff. Let me see if I can wheel the yield cursor around there and click skip. Oh yeah, there we go. And we are off to the races. I'm going to shut up for a second here and see if I can hear the sound playing. And I can actually hear the sound playing. It's playing in the basement. Again, you probably won't be able to hear it on the video, but the sound is coming in. And if we listen, it actually sounds like the sound is coming in evenly as opposed to this graphical nightmare. This looks like a watercolor painting, but the main thing is that it's working. Let me check my settings here and see what oh my gosh, this is hard to navigate. It reminds me of back in the day using my, come on, there you go, using my old machine with my old Pentium 3 on Windows XP as a kid, trying to play games, and it would literally give you this kind of frame rate in video games. It was awful. We've come a long way with computers, so it really makes you appreciate, being an old head like myself. I'm 30 years old now. With this stuff, it really brings me back. But we're running 240p, and you can see like it's watchable. Like the sound is coming through properly. Like we're gonna have to kind of visualize this a little bit because it's kind of like an advanced slideshow. Like even me just moving this around here, it's trying its best. Let's. My God, let's put it in 1080 and see what's going to happen. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to attempt to, I'm going to move this up. This is not going to work. This is going to make a mess. Oh, what? That actually plays, it's the same frame rate, but now it's in the 1080 and it actually doesn't look, that's funny. It actually doesn't play half bad. Dare I say it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this. I'm going to restore down. And what I'm going to do is press my Control-Delete here, and that should open our lock screen. Oh yeah, there it is. And I want to get this task manager and try to open. I didn't install the resource monitor on here, the gadgets one, but I can already see 69 processes, nice. is our performance. And just to see what we're using here with everything, oh, my mouse just jumped halfway across the screen. Whoa. But let's put this down here. Oh my gosh, this is something else. But yeah, you'll see our I got it, no, stupid ass, I gotta do that so we can see. So we're not only using not even 1.5 gigs of RAM, but our poor CPU is just getting throttled here trying to do this. But I mean, this, dare I say, this actually works decently well. Oh my god. It actually works all right for YouTube. Anyway, let's whoa! It's not even moving the cursor. It's it goes all over the place because we have 2 different modes for this. So we have local cursor, and then we actually have a where we can do like a dual cursor, which is kind of weird. It kind of messes it up. And I don't know. I just use this cursor, which what I'll do here is I'll bring the video. I'm gonna stop this video here in a second here after we go on eBay. I'm gonna bring the what you call it downstairs, and we'll actually take a look at this and see with the remote as far as how well it's running on this. But I mean, I'll show you everything. It's there's nothing to really hide. It works really well. Let's look up here. RILOE card HP. I don't even know what you call it. Let's see if that's going to show up, and we can see if we're, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a completely wrong thing. What a surprise. As my mouse goes careening off the screen at Mach 10. And I can't scroll apparently. No, come on, there we go. I want to see how much it is to buy one of these. I don't even know what those are. Those are, oh, here we go. There you go. You want to have this experience? You could be like Dominic with his YouTube. Only for the US price. Oh, it's in one cart. Probably my own on my actual. I'm not even signed into my Chrome on this. But for the low price of $60 US plus, I don't know, your unborn child's, your first unborn child as a sacrifice and shipping, you can get the experience of having this remote inside cart. Fun. Let's close this down here. Come on, goodbye Chrome there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to do the shutdown through the Remote Insight panel here and see what it does on the Windows 7 machine, which I think is just going to run a shutdown. So you'll see right now, server's powered on. Are you sure you want to shut this down? And then we get our little menu here, which says shutting off server power this way is equivalent to pressing and immediately releasing the server's power button, which is good to know. On systems that do not support ACPI, which my older machine, like my 7000, because they have the hard power button, this results in an immediate shutdown regardless of the state of the operating system. Data loss and other adverse side effects are possible on systems that support ACPI, which this system should. Shutting down the server this way typically causes the operating system to gracefully shut down before the server is powered off. Now, keyword here is typically. So they're also running Windows 7, which never even existed long before this ever did. Anyway, so we're going to click confirm. Again, I'm on my desktop here. Let's click confirm and see what this does. Attempting to power off server. And, oh yeah, there we go. And it looks like it's just going to shut down nicely. But what I will do actually is I'm going to, once this shuts down, is I'm going to start it back up. Here we go with AC here. There's our shutdown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click power on, and then I'm going to click this, stop the video. I'm going to go downstairs and see if it rebooted, and that'll be the end of the video, hopefully. So, I mean, it doesn't really, not like it's the end of the world if this doesn't work, but I'm going to click power on here. I'm going to click it with my mouse. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to stop the video. We're going to run downstairs. All right, so we're on that. Here we go. Oops, as I move the cursor off the side. All right, click has been initiated. Oh, hold on, I gotta do it again. Server's powered off. Are you sure you wanna power on the remote server? Hell yeah, I do. All right, we're gonna run downstairs. Here we go. All right, so we are running back downstairs after clicking that button. And the server is powering on. And what I wanted to mention too is that our RID or whatever, the UID light there, it actually blinks blue when we're connected remotely to it. But as we can see here, or hopefully we got our cursor blinking at the top there. This worked good, and we're rebooting, and yeah, there's our screen again, and we're rebooting back into the machine running there, and there it is. So it works really good. But anyway, that's the system. I had a lot of fun building it. It's been really cool. It's hilarious. I mean, you gotta admit this thing is awesome. We're gonna push it. I'm gonna, for the last part of the video, or maybe I did it already. I don't even know. I'm probably gonna put it in earlier. I'm going to do a video because I filmed this. I filmed the last part first, which is really weird, and it's kind of screwing me up, to be completely honest. I'm going to push it around, so hopefully I added that clip where I'm running this and racing it against the big tower. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun to build. It's hilarious. I love it because it's so quiet. It runs great. It's a good machine. Like I say, we got those expandable port for the drive cage on the back. It's just cool. I've always wanted to build a machine like this, and now I have. And I get to share it with everybody. So again, all the subscribers and everything, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope, like I said, I don't make any money off this channel or anything. I just do it for fun. But I hope you watch it. I hope you watch this video and that you enjoyed it and you think that's a cool system. I enjoyed this video. So anyway, hope everybody has a happy Easter. Thanks for tuning in. And hopefully I'll be back soon with more craziness and videos for you guys. So anyway, take care and happy Easter again. Bye for now.